Good afternoon, students. This is the second part of the video for chapter 1 of history. Earlier, we did the half chapter of history, which is related to uh, in medieval Europe, the rise and spread of Christianity. So, half of the chapter we have read earlier, and I gave you the homework there to do this bookwork, and I hope you all have done. Next, we are going to start with the topic Jesus, opposition to Jewish leaders. So, in that of the time, as the popularity of Jesus Christ was increasing, so many of the people that they were going against of him. So, the Jewish religious leaders strictly practiced the human-made traditions and rituals, which were the earlier that the oral laws, the written laws, and some important teachings of ancient prophet like Moses have been opposed by an influential sections of the Jewish leaders. So Jesus questioned the rigid practice of meaningless rituals that ignored the values such as sharing and love. So these were the two main part of Jesus' teachings. So he just want that people should follow this. So Jewish leaders did not accept Jesus as a savior or Messiah. We can say Messiah that who came to save the people. So he healed people, preached and served them on Sabbath, a day set aside for fasting and prayer. So he was doing that many good deeds for common people, but Jewish leaders were against of it. So at the end, that there was the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Crucifixion means he was hanged on a cross with putting the nails in his palms and on his feet. So the growing popularity of Jesus made the Jewish religious leaders angry. So they were very against of it. So he was captured and his hands and feet were nailed to the cross, and he was left to die in Golgotha in 30th CE. This act is known as crucifixion. So, thus the cross became a sacred symbol for Christianity. Nowadays, we can also see that most of the people wearing uh, that locket that in their neck, which is having a cross on that. So, after this day, the day of crucifixion is observed as Good Friday. It is believed that on the third day of his burial means where his dead body was put there. So after his crucifixion, he rose from the dead, means he was again alive. This is called res- uh, resurrection. Resurrection. It was on a Sunday, so it is celebrated as Easter Sunday. So next is the spread of Christianity after his death. That many of his disciples, who were called the apostles, they spread Christianity in different parts of this world. Apostles traveled far and wide and spread the teachings of Jesus Christ. So Saint Paul was the most important among them. He traveled to far off places and converted people to Christianity. So next is here that Christianity in the Roman Empire. So this was that the biggest empire of that time, and in this empire, that people started believing in Christianity. Initially, Roman emperors regarded Christianity as a danger because the followers of Jesus refused to worship the Roman gods. They did not participate in the public festivals of the emperor and Roman gods, thus, the people following Christianity were declared unlawful. So they were persecuted, nailed to the cross, burnt alive, and thrown in front of wild animals in the amphitheaters. In spite of these atrocities, Christianity survived and grew. The people that uh, were dying in that of the time, but still that they were believing in the teachings of Jesus Christ. The advent of Christianity. So Constantine, this is the empire of that place. The builder of Constantinople and the founder of Byzantine Empire was the first Christian empire of Rome. Constantine decided it was best to locate his new city at the site of old Byzantium, claiming to be New Rome. So at that of the time that Roman Empire was divided in two of the parts, as we read earlier, that Constantinople and Byzantine. So the city had several advantages. It was closer to the geographical center of the empire since it was surrounded almost entirely by water. It it could be easily defended, means nobody was able to attack on this city. So the location provided an excellent harbor thanks to the golden harness as well as easy access to Danube River region. So these were a good that feature for this area. Although he kept some remnants of the old city, New Rome, 4 times the size of Byzantine, was said to have been inspired by the Christian code, yet remained classical in every sense. Built on 7 hills, just like old Rome, uh, the city was divided into 14 districts. So different parts were there as in nowadays. One of the Constantine's earlier concern was to provide enough water for the citizens because that was the main concern. Earlier that the rivers were not there, so it was not easy to provide water. Next is the role of Empire Constantine in spreading Christianity. So he is the main person who spread Christianity in his empire. So Constantine became a powerful ruler in 306 CE. He adopted Christianity and made it the official religion of the Roman Empire. He helped spread Christianity. He built many churches and monasteries. Monasteries where that the uh, people were living who were spreading Christianity. So he sent missionaries to different parts of Europe. Over the centuries, more and more people in Europe adopted Christianity. Next is here dominance of the church. The fall of Roman Empire in 1476 CE led to the emergence of the church as the only organized institution in the 5th century. The bishop, as we call them father nowadays, of Rome was recognized as the head of the church, and still that bishops or the fathers are the head of the church. So after completing of the reading of this part, you have to complete this bookwork. Next part we will also continue in this. So next is here the decline of ancient Roman Empire. After the death of Audius, the last emperor to rule the united Roman Empire in 395 CE, the Roman Empire was divided into two parts, the Eastern and Western Roman Empire. The capital of the Eastern Roman Empire was Constantinople, though the division of the empire broke the unity. So after this, that many problems were occurred. Uh, in the late 4th century, the Western Roman Empire crumbled after the approximate 500 years run as the world's greatest superpower. So Western Empire was having a long life after that also. So some argued that the Roman Empire did not fall as the Eastern Roman Empire continued to another 1,000 years in the form of Byzantine Empire. As I told you earlier that it was divided into two parts. So Byzantine Empire was the longest one. So next they have used the term barbarians. So firstly that who were the barbarians? Barbarians were basically those people who were living at the outskirts of the country or the city. They were not allowed to enter into the city. So barbarian invasions that they attacked on the Roman Empire. So there are many factors that led to the destruction and disintegration of the Western Roman Empire. The most important being the repeated invasions by various Germanic tribes like the Vandals, Goths, and Franks. These were the barbarians, or we can say the tribals, who attacked on this city. And after this, that finally in 1476 CE, Western Roman Empire suffered in death below. So next, they are talking about emergence of new empires over there. That is the emergence of Turks. The invading empire of the Ottoman Turks captured the capital of Byzantine Empire in 1453. So this led to the downfall of Constantinople. The capture of Constantinople marked the end of Roman Empire and the rise of Ottoman Empire. The name of Constantinople was changed to Istanbul. And this Ottoman Turks is basically that the Muslim Empire that we will read in the next chapter. So the first emperor of the Ottoman polity was Osman, the descendant of a Turkish tribe which had emerged out of Central Asia. So next they have used this term crusades. So firstly that what the mean of crusades? It means that the holy wars which were fought for the religion. So these wars were between the Christians and the Muslims. So crusades were a series of holy wars of the Christians waged against the Turkish Muslims to occupy the Holy Land, Jerusalem, where Jesus Christ was born, and the lands of Christian emperor to Constantinople. So these were the waged between the 11th and 16th century. So there were 8 crusades that resulted in the recapture of Jerusalem. The crusades in Jerusalem failed to establish permanent Christian kingdoms, even though the Holy Land remained in Christian possession. So this is a very important topic in this. Next here that they talked about monasteries and their impact. Monasteries, as I told you earlier, that where the monks were living, who were spreading that Christianity in the different parts of the world. The male persons who were living here, they were known as the monks, and the females who were living here, they were known as the nuns. They both were working as to spread the Christianity in the whole world. So the role in the spread of Christianity in many ways to these monasteries and nunneries. So where the male people were living, they were known as monasteries, and where the females were living, they were known as the nunneries. So they have played a big role in that. So here that their role is there. Monasteries became centers of propagation of Christianity, where that the this religion was spreading. Monks travel across the world to spread Christianity, like they reached to Kerala also in India. Monasteries were the only centers of learning during the medieval period, where they were teaching about Christianity and the different subjects like grammar and arithmetic. Monastery serves the sick, the poor, and the destitute who were coming there. They were providing them food, shelter, and all, so that people should not think about that uh, about about their reason that this is not a good religion or they are doing bad for the people. So they were doing some good deeds for the people, so that this religion should be separated in the whole world. So that's all in this chapter. After completing the reading of this chapter, you have to do this book work on your notebook, or you can do on your book even. Next, there are the question answers that I'm sending you as a picture. If you don't have the book, that these question answers you have to do on your book. Sorry, a notebook, on a fair notebook. So, thank you. That's all.